morning, friends. It's Nancy, and I'm here to do a flip through of these two journals that I finished this morning. So this one is Finish It Up Friday project. I started this chocolate themed journal, a year ago. I have it actually in my my junk journal, my day book from last year that I had started on these journals around this time. So we want some measurements. We are talking a little better than 5 1/4 by 8 3/8. What do you think of that? The spine is, I forget, an inch and change, like an inch and 3/8 or something. There is 5 signatures. This is a hidden hollow back spine. I constructed the spine myself using fabric and some vintage hand crocheted lace. I sewed on some buttons, and let's get started. So for the front cover, I used an illustration from a book, and it's very Art Nouveau. The illustrator is Mucha. I have several illustrations in this journal with this similar aesthetic. Anyway, let's get moving. This is tatting. I cut apart a doily, and I think it's pretty. I just think it's pretty. But under that is some more hand crocheted trim. It has a little thin piece of rickrack, and the rickrack is crocheted around. It's fun. This paper is from a pastel art book, sketchbook. I'm going to have a hard time remembering, but I think these were 1920s. This one was from the 20s recipe book. And it was, this was a Fry's Cocoa booklet. This is from a turn-of-the-century ladies' home journal. I just tore the page out. And this is some tea-dyed paper that I put lace on to dry. Here is another recipe book. This is Baker's chocolate. I think Fry's is British, Baker's is American. Has some recipes there. This is a billhead from 1872, and it's from Henry Hearn Wholesale Confectioner. Wonder if there's anything. There's candy cigars. I'm looking for chocolate. Nope. So here's the other side of that ladies' home journal, and there's a recipe for chocolate puffs. This is a vintage chocolate ice cream bar wrapper, sort of like a glassine or a waxed paper. And I made this tag. If you saw my video on yesterday, Friday, you saw me make this tag. It has a tassel on it. This flips out. This is an old recipe card, and you flip it up and it opens up this paper bag. You can tuck little secrets in, but I also made a pocket out of it. So this is scraps of a paper bag, and I used a stamp set about chocolate on every page. And a little bit of trim I stitched on there. So there's just a little notepad. This is a image from a vintage magazine for chocolate chips. And it's kind of puffy because I put cheesecloth in between the two layers, so it looks like it's three-dimensional. Made this pocket out of a vintage linen, and I believe this advertisement also came from that lady's home journal. So this was an ad for Baker's chocolate, and it was torn in a couple places, so I just glued it and inked it. So it'll be a nice journal card. This is a page from an old Reader's Digest. No, sorry. National Geographic. Woo! This is an advertisement for Whitman's chocolates. This is a little piece of ephemera that I came across, and it's not a brand I know, but if you have a chocolate bar, you can make devil's food cake, fudge squares, chocolate icing. So I've just got it pinned to the edge of this page. This is a little image from, make sure I'm still here, a little image from a book that I cut out. There she is, cooking away. This is a page from a vintage, an antique actually, encyclopedia. This is from an old ledger. This is a bill head from 1895. W.H. Granger and Company, Wholesale Grocers. Doesn't mention chocolate, but it's pink. And you gotta know, if they had baking powder, they had chocolate, or cocoa at least. The encyclopedia page had cacao. I love this color of this this recipe booklet. So nice. Here's another little image that I cut from a book. And this tips out, flips out. Here's a few more of these turn of the century Art Nouveau little images. So I've turned those into journaling cards. This is some hand crocheted trim. Another Whitman's advertisement in an old National Geographic. This is a little add-on. It was glued to the original page of the chocolate recipe book. It says coupons for Cadbury chocolate blocks are no longer being issued, but all coupons now in the hands of our customers will be redeemed. Another flip out, and I have this little image down here to decorate. This is an old recipe card, and it says Aunt Betty's chocolate cookies, and I've stitched it onto this short page and tucked in a little journal card that I made using a book from Image. This is an old piece of ledger. If you watched my video yesterday, you saw that I made this journal card from a book image, and this is a billhead from 1875 from John Sales. They've crossed out the P. Wholesale dealer in confectionery. I don't see any chocolate. There's assorted stick candy, mixed candy, don't know. Wellesley white icing. Oh, this was a book, an image from a book about Victorian kitchens. And on the back, the lady of the house is consulting with her cook. Another one of those turn of the century Art Nouveau illustrations. And here on the back is an altered envelope. Oh my gosh, a window envelope. And I just made this tag from a vintage recipe card. Journal on the back. But I should also mention that my glue fell over. This can be used as a side pocket. So there's the chocolate journal. Next up, we have this journal that I started last week. This was my Thrifty Thursday project. If you saw my video on Thursday, you saw that I had purchased this set of coordinating charm squares, and I sewed them together to make this. Let's see if I can find the center so I can lay it down. To make this journal, I used some vintage linens to just add some interest, and I stitched on some vintage buttons. And I don't know if this is going to show up well or not, but I stitched a little flower there in colors to match. So it's a soft cover, but it's a hard cover. Soft in that there's not bookboard in there, and it's squishy. This is antique trim actually. And this is a little pocket here. You could tuck a companion or something. This is also a little tuck spot. This could also be used as a tuck spot if you wanted to. So inside, the front and back inside covers are also fabric. Let me show you the back. This one also is a pocket, but I've added these vintage doilies to make pockets as well. So the theme of this journal is mid-century, I'm going to say 1940s. Definitely some war era going on here. A little bit of 50s, mostly war era. I took a library card and just stitched a piece of coordinating fabric on there. These are some images from 1950s Good Housekeeping. This wasn't actually the title of whatever product it was. But I made it, you know, little ransom note sort of idea going on. I stitched around each of these images, and on the back, it sort of, you know, sort of gives you a focal point to add a little writing or put a little image or something. This is an old label from a Pyrex cake pan, and it's old. I'm thinking this is 1930s. It's pretty grubby, but this could not be thrown away. Absolutely could not throw this away. There's recipes on the back. This is a piece of ledger paper, and I just cut out this plate to make a tuck spot. And this is a little journaling card, I guess. So this is meatloaf. This is prime rib, ketchup, and cheese. This is a recipe book for walnuts, actually. I thought the colors were nice and bright. Some of the lace that I got on Thrifty Thursday that I hadn't yet used in this journal. Well, now you're seeing it. I used it. This is an actual picture of this little toddler. What I mean, it's an actual picture, but it's an actual photo. And down here, this is a gasoline ration card from 1942. This is a diaper pin. Do you remember diaper pins? I backed the ration card with some cardstock because it was kind of flimsy, and I just added this little piece of fabric. This is from a baby blanket, an Esmond blanket for baby. So this was like it was a fancy schmancy blanket. So this would be the gift card, I guess. So it opens up, and it opens up again. And it's also a pocket to hold this little ration card. This is a page from I should say this is a letter from 1942. Page from a 1950s Good Housekeeping. And look at the party curls. Can you imagine giving a child a home permanent? Safety tested by Procter & Gamble for little girls 2 to 12. Oh my goodness. This is an advertisement for Spam from the 40s, and she's saying, why don't you skip Lodge tonight? And he says, oh, well, Spam and beans, I just might have to. So this flips out. I've stitched a little of that coordinating fabric on. And then this flips over, and that's the bottom of that 1942 letter. And then there's more writing space on the back. Here's the other side of that Pyrex label. This is a vintage button card, and look at him, he's so fancy. He's got his cigarette going. This is a little journal card I made. I cut this image from a book and backed it with some card. Little image from a 1945 advertisement. This is an actual card for it. It had safety pins on it. It was just so pretty. It had this beautiful scroll, and so I added a eyelet, also from Thrifty Thursday, and stitched on a ruffle of fabric. This is a war ration book from, I think it was 19... Well, it would have been from the war. And I took out the innards, so this could be just used as a place to write stuff. Tucks in right there. A little bit of fabric here as a tab. This is avocado dyed paper. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before. I don't think I did. So each signature has an avocado dyed paper, and I put lace on it to make this pattern. Page from magazine. This is a letter from, not sure when. This is an actual tapestry needle book. I opened it up and I put a little fabric in that window. It's just there for decoration. I mean, could use it as a tuck spot. This is an envelope for hot iron transfers. And there's a photo of a family. I don't know what he's holding. He's holding something. She's got a cat. I don't know what he's got. Anyway, this is an altered paper clip I made. This is some vintage seam binding. It was actually sewn onto something, and then somebody picked the stitches out. On this side of the altered paper clip is this big giant cheese ad. Here's another photo I love. It's embossed, and it has this beautiful decal edge. August 1944. This is a gift card for a bridal shower. You flip up the little package lid, and you can see there's a teapot in there. And then it opens, and it opens. But you have to lift the lid of the little package first. Underneath that, I have a couple of tabs from a recipe book. And here's this is a photo, or sorry, a book image of an advertisement for Campbell's soup from that era. That's tucked in there. And this is also from a book about 1945, from 1942 or 45, something like that. So this shows a poster about Victory Gardens. Made that into a journal card, just tucks under there. For this page, I used a page from a book of cross stitch. This is the back of that. Oh, did you see this? Kate Greenaway's High-Ranking Cottons. I was unaware that there was such a thing. So anyway, this is the back of that iron-on transfer. And I made another little pocket with some of that lace, and I've tucked some real ephemera in there. There's a cigarette card. This is a label from a pharmacy, and this is a label from a made from fresh fruit, cane sugar, and carbonated water. So some sort of a carbonated drink. So I just pulled those out of my own collection. Oh, this page from Lincoln College was 1949. This is a page from a book about the war years. And I included this picture of this couple. There's a church behind them. This is interesting. Because that church looks familiar. Huh. So whether that was the rector's house or something. Another page, fussy cut from a book. This is torn for, well, it wasn't torn. It was cut from a newspaper. Inside I've got some more ephemera. This is a calendar from 1943. And this is a bill from a newspaper. So this was from 1943, June. And here, I guess it was maybe to put a birth announcement. And then here it has this extra sticker on here. It says, due to enlistments in the armed forces, our collection staff is seriously depleted. We will therefore be unable to contact advertisers as frequently as heretofore. Your prompt remittance will help save labor, paper, postage, etc., and thus assist the war effort generally. The Evening Telegram. So that was a Toronto newspaper. Get in there, guys. Sewed on some fabric there. The picture, I wrapped it around, and then on the back, here's a little photo of a couple from wartime era. And this is a like a pay stub. This was a photo from a book. I made it into a journal card. So they're tucked right in there. This is a letter from 1947. And I think they're probably cousins. So he's writing to his cousin. I'm assuming they're cousins, named Bobby. And it talks about their grandfather. So they called him Bappa. And I was just thrilled with that because me and my brothers and sisters and cousins, we called our grandfather Bappa. This is a page from Good Housekeeping. I love the pink walls. There's a little match holder there. She's gonna mix a cocktail. She's got the ice and glasses out. This is from a page about flowers. or a book about flowers, gardens, I think. This was all bulbs. It was an older book. I believe it was a 1950s book. Ledger page. Woo! This is some ephemera from a pressing cloth. You know how you would iron all your men's suits and just go crazy? This is from 1952. This is a recipe using Jell-O for a tangy cheese aspic. So I have a picture of this mom and a little girl and a dog. This is a recipe card, and this is 1942 mortgage payment. Here we have a recipe from a magazine of how to make pie crust, and you can get a free cookbook. This is a tax form, and it folds out like this, and it's from 1945. So I've just wrapped it around that page. And clipped it there. This is a window envelope from 1943, and I put a couple things inside. So this is a wedding picture. I think these are probably the bridesmaids because they're identically dressed, and there's two men. So I just sort of popped the wedding photo in there so that she was sort of centered in the glassine window. This, I'm not sure where I got this, but it says, "To our good neighbors, the American tourists. It is with great reluctance that the Canadian government found it necessary as an emergency war effort to restrict the sale of gasoline and oil between 7 at night and 7 the following morning, and between 7 on Saturday night and 7 on Monday morning. There is no restriction in the amount which may be put in your tank at other hours. Your oil credit card is good, should you care to use it. We are sure you will be glad to cooperate with our own citizens in this effort. Canadian Government Travel Bureau." So for anybody driving to Canada, be aware, you don't want to depend on getting gas or oil on a Sunday. This is a train ticket. Well, it's not a ticket, it's a check. It has a perforated tear off there. And I've just tucked it in, made another pocket with some of that lace that I got on Thrifty Thursday. This is the recipe card for the spice cake. I referred to this in last, I want to say it was Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? This I talked about this recipe. So I did make this cake. It was okay. I wouldn't make it again. It was a little plain for our kind of, modern tastes, but again, we got a little tuck spot and another envelope there. And I just added a ruffle to the top of that recipe card. So, I hope you enjoyed this flip through. I was really happy. Sometimes you're just not sure where you're going to go with a project, And I was really starting to hesitate with what I was doing. And then I thought, oh, come on, girl, you can do this. This is a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, actually. It's not an open hollow back spine. So it's a 5-hole pamphlet stitch along the back. And I used a 9x12 envelope. So it's it's like 5 3/4, I guess, because I saved a little for the spine. Yeah, it's 5 3/4, the size of the front cover, and it's 9 inches tall. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked learning a little bit about, you know, the warriors, and were as happy as I am that some of the pieces and bits of ephemera from that era are being reused. I am going to list these 2 journals in my Etsy shop. The link is below. I'm going to wait till a little later in the day to list them. I will list in the description below what time. I'll also put a little heads up on my Instagram account, which is also described below. And if you are following my Etsy shop, you should get some sort of an alert that I've added these 2 journals. So thank you so much for joining me. I will be looking forward to spending some time with you tomorrow on Self-Care Sunday. So take care of yourself today. I hope you're getting some sunshine like I am. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.